In part 1 of this resume building series, we covered how to structure the core sections of your investment banking resume. In this video, we are going to understand how to structure the two remaining sections, that is leadership, skills and interest section, which will be most important to showcase your abilities when you go for an interview. Alongside that, we'll also understand how investment bankers judge your attention to detail in the resume, and also the formatting and aligning rules which will make your resume look clean, sharp and professional.
Hey there, my name is Karan Damania. I'm an ex-investment banker turned founder, and through Encoding Careers, we help you build successful career in finance.
So let's get onto the screen and use the same template which we used in the previous video and understand about the two core section and the rules of formatting. Alright, so we are back to building our resume for investment banking, where we are taking a look at this entire template which we have given out to you, where you can download this entire template and create your resume as well. The link is in the description for that. In the previous video, we covered the 4 core sections that you will have to add to your resume to make it ready for investment banking. So for that, we looked at education, we went through work experience, projects and certification, and finally we covered the scholarship, awards and achievement section. Now having these sections in your resume will give it a very strong foundation which will help the recruiter understand that you are someone ready for investment banking. And the final 2 sections that we are going to cover today will be an add-on and give you an additional points to speak about yourself when you present it in your resume. So now we are going to look at the final 2 sections of the resume and also understand the formatting and aligning rules which will make your resume stand out from other people applying for these roles. So section number 5 is about leadership and extracurriculars. Now this is going to be a very important section because investment banking as an industry is very people oriented. Once you enter into this industry, you are going to deal with your clients, your seniors, you are going to deal with ecosystem players like venture capital people, lawyers, other bankers, where you have to be very good in maintaining relationship and showing that you can lead things with people. Now for that, this entire section will be very helpful because it will show to the recruiter that you have already in the past dealt with people, and that is where they are going to give you a chance. So through this section, you need to showcase that you are someone who can take up ownership of things, you are having leadership qualities, you are someone who can work in a team, because investment banking is a very tight-knit team oriented work where everything has to go through the entire hierarchy. So as an analyst, you will be working upon a lot of execution part. As an associate, you will be supervising upon things. AVP takes care of the entire deal mandates, VP brings in deals, and everything flows through this entire hierarchy. So it's a very teamwork role that you have to perform. When you showcase it in your leadership and extracurricular section, then the recruiter will understand that you are right fit for them. And finally, through this section, you will also showcase your client facing confidence, because at the end of the day, if investment bankers are hiring you as an analyst, they want you to grow to associate and senior level positions where you are more going to be inclined towards the soft skill side. You are talking to clients, bringing in new clients, then building long-term relationship with them, and that is where client facing confidence is needed. And if you showcase that in the past you have done some work with some clients or dealt with any companies or something, then it will be an added advantage. Roles that you can show in this leadership and extracurricular sections are something like president or founder of a particular club or organization. If you have organized any event, so you are part of event organization team, were you a captain for any particular sports team. These are some of the tags that you can mention in your resume, and alongside that also give some bullet points to it. So if we go back to the template that we have, hey there, are you trying to build your career into investment banking but not sure if you are right fit for it? Then you can check our investment banking fit assessment, where you get questions across 5 different sections core to investment banking, and then you are going to get a score at the end which will help you understand your fit for the industry. If you want to go through it, then there's a link in the description which will give you access to it. It's free for all, so make sure that you try it once and assess your fit for the investment banking. Thanks for going through this side note. You can continue with the video. Here we have mentioned some extracurricular and leadership pointers that you can add. Initiative where you are key member. So here we have just mentioned soccer club or event that you participated in. What was the location? If it was in your college, then you can mention about the college name. What was the role that you performed over here? So that you can mention. If you were a head of particular committee during a particular event, then you can mention head of events department, head of PR department, organization, security department. Wherever you worked, you can mention about those roles, and then the period of that particular role. Below that will come the bullet points as to what you performed in that particular role as a leader or as a participant in it. This is my particular example where I was head of events for our entire college, and this event used to take place every year, and it was very large scale where a lot of colleges of Mumbai used to come down to the college, and there were different events into finance, marketing, and different domains, and I was leading the entire finance events team. So here I led large scale college fest events, managing a team of 10 volunteers. So finance events was something which was very flagship for us, and it had a lot of scores. They needed someone who was good in finance, and I was the right person for it. So that is where I was given the responsibility of heading those entire events. So here you can mention about what you did, what all things did you perform. So I oversaw all the events related activity like event pitching, rule book creation, event organization. Now this is going to showcase to the interviewer that I am able to structure and break down things which are to be performed over a period of time. Now organizing a event is a long term activity. It's not like that events registration are done tomorrow and tomorrow is the event. It takes a period where you are doing mock events, you are creating rule books, how the event will go, and the entire flow of it. Now similarly, deal making is also a long term process, and you have to showcase that you have the skills to work upon this deal making in investment banking as well. So that is how your participation into this initiative should showcase your right fit for investment banking industry. Now here also bullet points have to be structured in quantifying manner, where you have to add numerical things, where you have to add right skill set, right tools that you used, and what was the outcome that you achieved. So that is about how you are going to add leadership and extracurricular. Some other example, if you are part of any athletic club or a sports club, then you can mention about those. If you have participated in any team, if you are founder or captain of those particular team, you can definitely add those points. So that way the section number 5, which is leadership and extracurricular, will be taken care of. Final section of the entire resume will be skills and interest. Here we have 2 slides for it. First we are going to cover skills, and then we'll move on to the interest side. Now in skills you have to mention only the relevant skills that are specific to investment banking, and for which you can prove that you have done some work and you understand about those. So if you are doing some project related to financial modeling, valuation, then you can add those skill set in the skill section by mentioning in the final section of the resume, where you can mention technicals, and here you are going to add all of those skill set like financial modeling, DCF and comparables, market research, Excel, PowerPoint. But make sure that whatever skills you are adding, if you get question upon those, like if interviewer is going to ask me where did you apply this financial modeling skill, then I should have a tangible proof and I should be able to explain upon this. Do not add any skill just looking on the internet that what investment banking needs. If you are not able to prove it during the interviews, then it is going to be very hampering your chances of cracking it. So make sure that whatever you add, you are able to speak upon those. Here best thing that we mention to our candidates is whatever projects you are building, you are definitely going to add the skill sets in the bullet points for that project. Make sure that you use same skill set in this technicals over here, so that whenever a question arises, you can mention about the projects that you have created, and you can talk about those projects, which gives you a chance to showcase your tangible proof. And then the interviewer might question you upon the project that you created, which gives you a high chance of proving your fit. The final part of section number 6 is interest. Here it is important to understand why your interests matter. Recruiter does not want to see what you are interested towards. They are finding some points where they can resonate that you are a right fit for them. So here you need to include high value interest that mostly all investment bankers perform somewhere in the future. So this would be showcasing your interest for something related to finance. So this could be tracking public markets, any particular global region that you follow. It could be US, China, Hong Kong, or it could be any European region where you find something of your liking. It could be tracking the technical markets of USA, which leads the entire US economy, or it could be tracking the financial markets of USA. That way you have to find some niche which you like and something that you can talk about, or you want to talk about any startup areas that you love, so you can mention about those thing as well into your resume. For example, if you are someone who likes to track about AI development in the space of defense, or AI development in the space of productivity, or any kind of things that you are specifically interested towards, and you can speak about those things, so that can be added. And make sure that you have done some research around that. If interviewer wants to ask you, then you are able to talk about it for next 5 minutes. The third interest could be anything related to sports that you follow. It could be any indoor game that you like. It could be carom, table tennis. It could be any outside sport as well, not necessary that it should be indoor. Anything that you have done for non-profit. This is going to be very important point, because here interviewer wants to understand understand that what are some of the things that you have done apart from learning related to finance or making projects. Adding something that is non-profit, where you have done any kind of charity donations, where you are doing some food drives or sharing of knowledge to anyone. So those non-profit are very, very impacting. And here interviewers really value that you are someone who just does not care about themselves but also contributes to the society, creating an impact on others. And the final interest point could be related to reading. So there are definitely some more interests that you can add based what you are interested towards. These are some of the generic examples that we have given, which will give you some talking points during the interview. So here in reading, make sure that you are adding points related to non-fiction or something that is oriented towards business. If you are someone who likes to read Harry Potter or any fiction related novels, make sure that you are not putting it as a priority, and there are some other interests which are related to showcasing your interest and fit for investment banking. If there are not, then you can definitely mention about those, and it could be something that could break the ice if the interviewer is someone who is interested in those fiction related books. So going back to the resume here, these are some of the interests that I particularly follow, which is I play a table tennis a lot. I track public markets of Indian landscape on a daily basis by reading Economic Times, Live Mint, Business Standard. These are some of the newspapers that I track on a daily basis. That gives me understanding about what's happening in the Indian economic landscape. Then we have a group of friends where we on a monthly basis do donation drives for food related activities, or if there is winter season coming, then we do blanket donations to people who are needy for those things. So that way it gives an understanding to the interviewer that you are someone who understands giving back to the society. You are not someone who is a capitalist in nature, just hoarding things for themselves. And investment banking as an industry is something where you need to have these kind of mindset, because you are going to work for your clients who are further going to raise money or do mergers and acquisition. There you need to have this purpose driven work where everything that you are doing is going to contribute to the economy as a whole. If the funding mandate goes through your company, then your client gets money and they are going to expand, more people are going to get employment, there is going to be boost in the consumption of the products that they are creating or services that they have. So that way, when you have those kind of impact driven thoughts in your mind, when you have those mindset, then you are going to be a right fit for these roles. And finally, non-fiction book, I read a lot. You can see in the background there are a lot of books in the bookshelf over here. Mostly I read self-development, business related books that help on the communication side. These are some of my niche that I have in this non-fiction category of books. You can definitely mention what you like to read in the entire non-fiction domain. So that is how you add your skills and interest. Mostly these are some of the talking points that you can discuss with the interviewer, which is going to create bonding. You can definitely ask interest of your interviewer as well, like what do they particular do into their free time, how do they track public markets, or having those smart questions are also very, very important. So that way all of the sections of the resume are covered. Here you need to make sure that in the top section you are not taking a lot of space for your contact details and your name. Here you can mention about your name, and here your email will come in, your LinkedIn ID and your phone number. Make sure that you link your email ID with the URL so that if interviewer wants to click and go through your profile, they can easily do that. And also make sure that your email ID is also linked. So you can link it by mentioning over here. This is the text that gets displayed over here, and here you have to mention your email. So when someone clicks upon it, they are going to get redirected to Gmail or Outlook if they use Outlook. And make sure that you add phone number, so if interviewer wants to contact to you, have a first round of conversation, they are able to do that. So that takes care of the entire structure of the resume. Hey there, since you are there into this video up till here, just wanted to let you know that if you're serious about building a career into investment banking, then you can check out our 2-hour free investment banking masterclass that covers a lot of things about investment banking, like lead to deal conversion, the ultimate hierarchy, what are the skills needed for investment banking. It's free for all. Just go to link in the description and you can find access to it. Next, we are going to look into formatting and structure rules that we need to follow as we go through the resume. Point number 1 is one page only. Here we saw that everything was covered in this one pager. If you have a lot of information, you will have to summarize those information and make the best use of this one pager. Try not to go overboard in the second page, because you are just applying for analyst or associate level roles. There you don't need to mention about what your past life has been entirely. It just needs to showcase that you are now fit for investment banking, and whatever work you have done in the past makes you so. Point number 1 is one page only. then the font size should be 10 to 11 points. Here the entire template that we have given you has a font size of 10. If you don't have a lot of information to add, you can increase it to 11. Only the name that we have in the entire resume is 16 in size. Everything else is 10 or 11. So your contact details are in 11 and all the information that we have is 10 in size. So that takes care about the point number 2. Point number 3 is consistent alignment. Everything is aligned one below the other. All the section names are given. There is a line that we have given below the section name, and every section follows a particular alignment, right? You can see the spacing between the section and the first point is similar everywhere. Alongside that, make sure that the margins are set to narrow when you are working upon this template so that you have space. Set it to normal, then a lot of space will be taken over here and it does not look aligned. So having it narrow makes sure that you have minimal border and things looked aligned. So that is point number 3. Point number 4 is no colors, icons or decoration. So in the resume template that we have given here, it is a very simple Word file that you can easily edit. There's no colors that we have used in the entire document. There's no photographs or decoration. Just there are simple lines that is breaking the section name and the entire details that the section has. Nothing else. Only to separate the contact details, we have added a vertical dash over here. So that way it takes care of the proper alignment. It looks good. It is not very catchy. Main thing over here is that your content should be catchy. So if you have mentioned numerical content in your resume, it will grab attention. If you are using different colors and different kinds of font and type, the most important part, which is your content, is not going to be looked into with that attention to detail. So that is about point number 4. Then point number 5 is bullet points must be one line each. This we covered in the first part itself, that whenever you are mentioning any bullet points for work experience or projects, it should be one line only. If it is going overboard, then one line. Make sure you use any AI tools and summarize those lines, and the format that you have to use is what you did, what skills or tools you used, and what was the outcome that you achieved. We gave detailed example in the first part as to how you can do that. Then the section titles bolded, and it should also be capitalized. So we have kept it capitalized and it is also bold. Alongside that, if we talk about work experience, then in work experience, the company name, the work role, timeline can also be bolded. The bullet points can be normalized. Finally, white space balanced. This is going to be important here in this resume template. When you are using it, only the education section will have a bit of white space, because here you cannot write detailed bullet points, right? If we talk about GPA clubs, then it will maximum take half of the space if you have participated in more than one clubs and your college name is big enough. Other than that, all the below sections should have a bullet point that stretches to the end of this entire section line, which will not give a lot of white space over here. So if we see that this second work experience that we have here has a lot of white space, then this entire projects and certification have bit of white space over here. The leadership activities also have white space. So make sure that these white space are balanced. You are using maximum space on the resume and it is coming till end of this section line. So that way all the formatting and structure rules are covered. If you are going to use this formatting and structure rules, your resume has higher chances of getting shortlisted, and then you will have a chance of getting the interview. So finally, summarizing part 1 and part 2, we are going to see what a strong investment banking resume looks like. So point number 1 is finance first structure. Whatever things you are mentioning in your resume, they should be very finance oriented. In the work experience, we mentioned in the last part that if you have worked upon finance oriented role, keep them first so that attention of the recruiter or interviewer goes to them. In the projects, also mention all the projects that are related to investment banking work and that highlight the keywords related for it, and every other section should follow similar rules. Point number 2 is quantified achievements. This is very important. Whenever you are writing bullet points, make sure that every bullet point has some numerical aspect to it. It could be number of people you worked with, number of team members you led, number of clients you served, number of hours you put into a project. So whatever things that you can quantify in numbers will be very helpful. This is very important because in investment banking, whenever you are working with a particular client, you have to portray a story around those clients, and for doing that you have to understand that when you are pitching those things to investors, they are also looking at quantified things. When you showcase those skill sets while presenting your resume, it gives an impression to the interviewer that you can do similar work when you present things to the investor as well when you work upon deals. So that is the main reason behind doing quantified achievements. Then strong projects. This is going to be very important. Whatever projects you are mentioning in your resume, make sure that are aligned with investment banking industry and have keywords that will showcase your fit for the role. Clear formatting, this we already covered in the previous section. Leadership roles, this is also going to be very important. And final point is one page, crisp and professional. If you are using this particular template, it is going to be very crisp, it is one pager and it looks very professional. If you are creating your resume, just make sure to download this template from link in the description and then you are good to go. You can use all the sections that we covered over here and start creating your own resume. Using the sections that we covered in this two-part video series, if you structure your resume appropriately, then you are already playing investment banking game. The only thing that you will have to do is keep your every bullet point in the structure that we mentioned. And when you follow both of these rules, you are already 90% ahead of investment banking applicants. And that way you have higher chances of cracking your interviews. So hope this resume building series added value to your career and you make the best use of the resources that we have provided. So that is it for this one. See you in the next video.